Yo, what's going on, Council? And welcome back for another week, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Once again, this is the Gurren Otaku Council podcast, everybody, and this is episode 106, everybody, where today we're going to be discussing the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 movie, everybody, and of course, much, much more. So, if you'd like to join me, my friend McMillian, as we discuss all things anime and sometimes manga, then make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a single upload, everybody. All right, with all that being said, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin, everybody. All right, everybody, of course, as always, thank you all for joining us for another week. Hope everybody's doing super fantastic. How you doing today, McMillian?
I'm doing good, my friend. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. It feels good to be back. You know, it's been maybe almost a month since we did our last podcast episode. But
Regular, yeah.
But we're back in action, everybody. We're back in action. So, of course, as always, we're going to start us off with some council announcements, everybody. And our first council announcement is that our full season 1 reaction of To Be Hero X, everybody, is now up and live on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in that, go and check it out. As well as for our next featured anime that we're going to be doing for the fall season, everybody, is the My Hero Academia Season 8 finale, everybody. Give it up. That will be our next reaction for this upcoming season, and it should be a good time. Thoughts, McMillian?
One, go watch the To Be Hero X reaction. I think you guys will really enjoy it. As me nor Ace had, brand new show, new premise, had no idea what we were getting into, and I want to say it's probably my favorite reaction to the series we've done, just because all the twists and turns, and also like the bonus conversations that we had were really nice. Yeah, so go check that out for your with your guys. Also, if you haven't already, watch To Be Hero X. I thought it was, we'll get into it, but regardless, go enjoy that. Go enjoy the show. Two, My Hero, we thought it only best with it being its final. We talk about, I think, the movies, the season, so we thought it only best for the end of it, for it to be reaction, trying to see what all is about to happen, because I'm going in blind. I don't read My Hero, and Ace the same. Anime only as usual, so this will be a good time.
All right. And of course, everybody, for our last council announcement for this week, everybody, for next week's episode, we're going to be continuing our Netflix anime review with the Moonrise anime review, everybody, as well as we're going to be doing our fall watch list next episode, everybody, so stay tuned for that. So with all that being said, everybody, let's hop into today's major, I guess, discussion here, if you will, the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 movie, everybody. It was a wild ride. And of course,
Yes.
we know we're going to do these like how we always do them. So we're going to start off with our spoiler-free review, everybody. But of course, after that, we're going to be going into spoilers. But, we'll give you a heads up. So if you don't want to be, spoiled, if you haven't seen the movie, you can skip ahead into the rest of the episode. But nonetheless, we're going to start off with our spoiler-free review. And I'm going to hand it off to McMillian, who's going to start us off here.
Yep. So I'm going to approach this as a person who's read the entire story. For a person so I went into this movie knowing exactly what was going to happen, right? I knew beforehand all the events. I was still blown away by everything I saw. Ufotable constantly ups the animation game, and my goodness, is this movie not an exception. This movie trumps everything they put out of the Demon Slayer show so far to date. If they are coming like this for all of the films, like if they're, from what it sounds like, they said they're upping every film they plan to up it, right? Like this is supposed to be the
crazy
creme de la creme. This shit is going to get wild, even more so than I originally thought, because they did an amazing presentation. Panels came to life. They brought certain moments to a crescendo. Like they brought it to such form that I didn't even think they were going to give much attention to the point where I was like, yeah, no, that was great. That enhanced the quality of what I saw in the manga. Like they really put everything in this. The performances from the voice actors were great, phenomenal. I felt the emotions. I felt, drawn in. It's like I was there in the moments with them as stuff was happening. And I thought the music production was also done really well. Lisa came back, did an original song for this. It was great. Like this was just a really good time all around. A great event, and a must see for any Demon Slayer fan. And honestly, probably a must see for like if you're a fan of animation, this movie was also probably a must see as well.
Yes, yes, no, it was a great time. I echo all of McMillion's sentiments over there. Once again, for you Foldable, they shattered my expectations on animation quality as well. Once again, like this movie, Demon Slayer continues their chokehold on the anime industry film, everybody. Like they blew
Hmm.
past the anime opening weekend for sales. Blew past it. They are now the number one movie for opening weekend for an animation film. It is truly crazy. But nonetheless, though I would have rather seen this Demon Slayer, finale end in a seasonal TV format, Ufotable is damn sure making sure we go out with a bang, everybody, because
Hmm.
this movie is packed with many breathtaking visuals. I mean, like just plain and simple, the Infinity Castle has to be one of the greatest set pieces I ever seen animated, hands down. Like just the way they brought that world to life is
Yeah.
freaking amazing. Like it is crazy. Um, and then to add to that, the once again, the movie's packed with breathtaking visuals that truly shine during major story beats, accompanied with, of course, an amazing soundtrack. And to top it all off, everybody, Akaza versus Rengoku was the number one fight in the Demon Slayer series until this movie happened, where it was rightfully dethroned by Tanjiro versus Akaza. Like, just an amazing fight, hands down, 100%. And
Hmm.
just like McMillian said, 100% a must see movie for any Demon Slayer fans, and just like you said, for any anime fans alike in general, everybody. As far as my rating, I will 9 out of 10 for this movie, 100%.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between a 9 and a yeah, 9 and a 10. Either that scale. I can understand why and why not for people, but we'll get into that as we go into spoilers and stuff like that.
That is correct. That is correct. Well, everybody, once again, that is our spoiler-free review of the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part One. We're now starting heading into our spoiler review. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I'll have the timestamp on the description where you can skip past this part and head to the next section of the episode. But nonetheless, once again, the spoiler section is now starting in three, two, and a one. All right. So what a time.
Yes. Yes.
What a time this movie was. I want to say, first of all, the from the end of the regular season finale, right? From what was that, season 4, whatever, season 4 or 5, I can't remember the exact season. But when it was all falling into the Infinity Castle,
Hmm.
we pick right back up where we left off right there, and it's just like that scene in the anime was already crazy, but just to pick up right back in there in that scene, and they just fully just pick it up and just, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. You just seeing the Infinity Council span everywhere, all the moving pieces going up and down and everything. And it's just all so smooth too. I'm just like, this is fucking nuts.
Yeah. What I want to say, as a person who read the manga, when originally, I think it was when they first ever showed the Infinity Castle, like the hint, uh, after Mugen Train, um, I was already like, wow, I feel like I was like, they have the sense of this thing down packed. This movie, my good, like they elevated what I had already, like the props I had given them for doing that in the when they first revealed Infinite Castle to now, they elevated that shit so much. Like they did, like they, I feel like they perfectly translated like the maze feel of it all, and
Hmm.
like how this is a race against the clock for like everybody. We have to
Yes.
get Muzan. Where the fuck is this? And like if we don't get him, we're at danger because demons are popping out anywhere and upper moons are all like could be anywhere throughout this thing.
Hmm.
Like it they perfectly encapsulated what I felt like when I was reading the manga of oh shit, it's now or never.
So let me ask you this: speaking, as our resident, manga reader here, what
Hmm.
what was the moment that you felt like was definitely more elevated because it was animated?
Zenitsu versus upper six. I can't remember his
I
name,
can't
but
remember his
his
name either, but yes,
technically like his adoptive brother almost, I
yeah.
want to say. That in the manga, that scene, that whole fight is like it's a couple of pages,
Hmm.
but they're not like action pages. They're almost like steals. So
Okay.
you know how like we finally get to see all the different forms of thunder breathing because Zenitsu can only
Hmm.
do one,
Of course.
right?
Which was also
And
dope as hell, by the way. Just seeing, like you said, seeing all the different forms, that was cool as hell.
yeah. So in the manga, that's just like maybe four or five pages, and it's just him doing the moves.
Each moves, yeah.
Yeah, each moves and him like kind of blitzing Zenitsu. In this, it actually felt like a fight. Like
Okay.
in the book, it kind of just felt like I'm a. It's like it almost feels like the author really just wanted to show you what the rest of thunder breathing was,
Hmm.
and the emotional stake of Zenitsu and this, and his adoptive brother, like that whole thing. But in this film, I feel like they did that and gave it even more weight because it showed like Zenitsu like actively fighting against those things and
Yeah.
then popping off at the end, whereas opposed to it was kind of like he got blitzed or like he was. I'll say this in the manga, it almost felt like Zenitsu was so caught off guard by the events of what happened that he kind of just wasn't really paying attention to the attacks or almost something like that. And then he like blitzed and then he pulled out the new form. And this one, I feel like it's a lot more like he came into his own and then showed out.
Yeah.
So I that was very much enhanced
Yeah,
to
no,
that
I
point.
agree. I guess for me, the only issue I had with the Zenitsu versus Upper Moon Six fight was that he didn't use the Godspeed form. But other
Mm.
than that, of course, he might be saving it for something else because I'm pretty sure Zenitsu isn't done right. So he could just be saving it for something else. But seeing him
Did he
create a
not?
new form, no, he did. At least not. I don't know if he did in the manga, but in the movie, he didn't do it.
I could have sworn that's the form that because I know he used form one,
Yeah, he
but
used
I think
form
he
one,
got
but he
it
didn't use
blocked.
the Godspeed version of it
Oh,
though.
okay. I thought
Yeah.
that's what got blocked. Okay, maybe. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, it was amazing. Especially, it gets me wondering, how is Zenitsu is now the rightful, I guess, which was successor
In
to the
here,
Thunder
yeah.
form now. But like,
Hmm.
how is he gonna truly keep the form alive if he can't do the other moves? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess is he just gonna have to like teach it to the other kids until one of them picks it up randomly or
That
something? Like,
What's funny in the manga. In the what's funny when I was reading, I never even considered that there was so much like more intense shit happening that I didn't even stop to think about that. But
is he just trying to
that's a good
recreate
point.
the entire Thunder form in the way it is?
That is a good point. Well, I mean, I guess he could emulate. They said he couldn't use them properly, but I guess he could maybe emulate them.
And
But
kinda,
I
like, just
mean,
show them what it's supposed to
yeah,
be, and
but to
maybe
be
hopefully they
and
can
then
pick it up.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'd imagine these things are also on scrolls. Hopefully,
Oh, yeah,
uh,
yeah, something like that, yeah.
I mean, hopefully, I would
Or in
imagine.
a book
Hopefully,
somewhere,
right? Yeah,
100%
that
that
they
hopefully,
recorded
the
down.
old master logged the move somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. Oh, so moving on from there, do I wanna go to this next? No, I ain't gonna go to that next. I ain't gonna go to the
Okay.
next. I'll leave that one alone for right now. I'll go to this next. So there was a lot of discussions within the community about pacing for this movie, and really in regards to Akaza's backstory. So what are
Really?
your thoughts on that? Do you think they should have not necessarily, okay, let me rephrase that. Do you think they should have shortened Akaza's backstory? Because there's no way they couldn't have not done it.
Personal, that's interesting because I didn't really see that discourse for Akaza's backstory specifically. The thing I was seeing online in general was just the flashbacks in the movie felt over like they were too much in
Oh, so
general.
are they talking about like overall, like all the flashbacks, so
Yeah,
like
that's what I
Shinobu's and
was
like
seeing.
Tanjiro's, for
Yeah,
example?
yeah, that's what I was saying. I was seeing more so like that in general, not necessarily Akaza's. Like, if anything, I felt like I saw more people say Akaza's was fine, but it was all the other ones on top of that.
Yeah, because I know I remember speaking to one of our friends, and he did specifically mention how he felt like the specific part with Tanjiro and his dad was maybe a little bit too long, and
Hmm.
maybe we probably could have got that in the earlier season, and then like the not earlier season, last season maybe, but I don't know.
So I have two. Well, regardless, I have two opinions on this. One, as a viewer, as a person
Hmm.
watching the movie, because I feel like we don't normally stories like this we don't normally consume on the big screen. Big screen movies are kind of more streamlined. I
Yeah.
feel like the flashbacks are more glaring due to that fact. Because even I, knowing the story, knew those flashbacks were in there.
Hmm.
I even at times was like, oh, this kind of kills the pacing of this scene. When presented like this,
Hmm.
my only issue is within anime. This is the unfortunately anime just has that trope
Yeah.
right? Like this is something as a staple to anime specifically. I'm really racking my brain. Like I can't think of an anime that doesn't have flashbacks in some way, shape, or form, and that doesn't get interjected like that either, because dang near every like series has flashback. Heck, there are even series that like a season is a flashback season. Granted, I don't think that's technically what they're called, but that's, I mean, like Jujutsu Kaisen, for instance, season 2, first half was legit. It was like a flashback. So it's hard for me to like take points away from the movie because of that.
Yeah.
Because to me, like I can recognize that it killed a little bit of the momentum, but all of those flashbacks are story important.
Yes, and I believe that's how I feel as well. Like, though it kind of ruined the pacing a little bit, like you were saying, it was necessary, right? You know, this is the finale of the series. We have there's going to have to be exposition somewhere in this movie, right? It just can't
Mhm.
be all fights, right? So
Yeah,
we're
like
gonna have to get the exposition out at some point. Maybe they could have handled it a little better here and there, like with like maybe no tweaking the flashbacks, with like taking out some of the information that we didn't necessarily need, or just kind of speeding up like how they presented it, right?
mhm.
But once again, it was it's needed though, right? This is one of the unfortunate side effects of going from TV format to the movie formats here
Yeah,
though.
because I was about to say, I feel like that's probably the biggest issue is that this is a movie. Whereas like if this was like an episode, these flashbacks would have been entered like posed in either the beginning of an episode or near the end of an episode, like something you could that was digestible.
Yeah.
Instead, in the film, it's all of this is together, so it just feels like, oh, we're going from being like for instance, Shinobu versus Doma, he- belt to ass to like to almost like a standstill type of situation, something that's totally different, juxtaposed in terms of like the phonetic tone and everything. Like the we were at 100, you just slowed me down to 30 miles per hour, right? That's like that's a shocking force, but
Yeah.
it was something that people needed. Now, I will say the way I probably would have done it in my mind, or like the way it probably would have been better if we stitched some of those together. For instance, I don't think Shinobu's we need to watch Shinobu's sister's uh backstory split into like three different things. That I felt like they could have probably done one long thing and then got back to the fight. That's my opinion.
Hmm.
Tanjiro's one, I kind of see what people. I think I kind of get what like our friend was saying with that, but that one's a little bit risky because like that was supposed to be specifically for that fight. I don't know
Yeah.
how else where
Yeah.
else you would have put that.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, maybe he could have like, because we know when we was talking about it, he was basically saying it could have been brought up during the Hashira training arc, and I was like, well, yeah, maybe this could have been brought up like towards the end of the Hashira training arc,
But the
like
thing is like
Tanjiro
that.
just meditating or something. He's trying to like get into the transparent world,
But
right?
my thing is like that Akaza brought that up specifically,
Well,
and also
yes,
it was for it technically only matters for Akaza's fight
yes, but I'm
because
just
that's
saying it
how
could have
his
been a nice
whole
prelude into it though. But yes, I get what you're saying though. But yeah, it was directly kind of tied to
tied
his
to it.
fight
Yeah.
and his powers, right? Because the way Akawa's powers work is based off his this fighting spirit, right? And Tanjiro, if he goes into the transparent world, he can essentially hide that fighting spirit, right? So it was
hmm
tied to everything. But nonetheless, I mean, I thought it was a beautiful explanation, but I can see
Yeah. No, I
where
mean,
people, will be upset at it by
yeah. I was about to say like legitimately, I could understand where because I saw the discourse on the flashbacks because that's one IGN wildly gave this movie like a 6 out of 10 because of flashbacks. And I was just like, see, my issue, but and it's like I said, my issue with that is anime as a medium that is like a staple. I don't. There's very few, if any, anime that does not have flashbacks, and I just think because it's a movie, it becomes harder to digest and like that in this type of format because it, like I said, it kind of just at times it just kills the momentum. Like the only one I felt like didn't technically was like Akaza's because that came at the end of a fight. Like we were already done with the fight by then. So like when his came, that just felt kind of natural. Like the pace had already slowed to go into a backstory. The other
yeah.
ones came in the middle of fights. Like so I understand why it causes why people were a bit like jagged about that.
Well, yeah, because Akaza's technically his backstory happened like at the climax of his fight, so I guess it was a little
I
bit
would say
more
technically it was like the
digestible.
I mean, technically, it was the end. Like he,
Yeah.
like he had his. I mean, granted, he was still moving, but his head was cut off.
Yeah.
Tanjiro and Giyu both were like, I can't move. I like regardless of what happened next, somebody that was gonna be the end of the fight. Whether
Hey,
it
that boy
was
Ginyu had to get it out the mud. This movie boy.
also, I'm so happy that the reaction online to Giyu's fight is exactly what I wanted it to be, because so many people was talking shit about my boy, and then he showed out.
My boy had to get it out the mud. The first hostage was to awaken his what was that? His mark. There, he was popping off. even though
But he
even
said,
though Rengoku probably put up a better fight overall than what's our boy Ginyu did, but I mean. He still did his thing. And the only reason why I say that is because Rengoku literally almost killed, Akaza. So what do you mean? The man had the sun debuff as well as he was about to cut off his head. So Rengoku was about to win.
So I'll say this. He did have the sun thing. Yes, I'll give you. He was not about to cut off Akaza's head.
That was right there.
No. So here's the thing, and a lot of people, and this is an argument that happened in the manga too. So like, people don't feel weird if you get into this. I personally believe Akaza was not fighting at full strength against Rengoku, for the simple fact of this movie, if anything, showed he had shit in the bag left.
Debatable.
I'm just saying, because Giyu had to deal with 1,000 hits coming from him all directions and barely survived it. Rengoku did not have to deal with that move at all. At all.
But is it fair to say he didn't have to deal with it because he didn't let him pull it out though?
I wouldn't think that. I mean, because I'm just saying, like, they had their squabble. At any point in time, I feel like Akaza could have done it. So I am of the firm belief that Akaza versus Rengoku was Akaza having fun and trying to recruit Rengoku. Akaza versus Giyu and Tanjiro at the start was him having fun. After a while, he's like, all right, you're getting on my fucking nerves. I'm about to kill you. That's the difference between those two fights. Now, that's not to say Rengoku didn't do his thing. I truly believe Rengoku was great. I'm just saying, I don't think I see it. I do not think Rengoku was close to killing Akaza. I gotta squash there.
Okay. Well, to say Akaza wasn't fighting at full strength is one thing, but to say Rengoku wasn't close to killing him, I disagree.
Well, I mean, but outside of the sun, I think him getting hit like that, yes. But I don't think, like, if it wasn't for sunlight, I honestly truly think all of them would have been.
So you don't think even if he didn't have the sun debuff in his final moment, like let's say Akaza didn't deal a death blow to his stomach like that, right? You don't think he would have been able to chop off his head in that moment? Because that was the only reason he couldn't do it. Because I mean, Akaza literally had to detach himself from his arms in order to get away from Rengoku.
Well, but that wasn't even because he was about to cut off his head. That was because the sun was about to come up.
A little bit of both, though. But I feel you.
It was
more.
You're talking about that hit.
Yes.
That he did. But to be fair, I think that was even Akaza be like, oh shit, I let my guard down too much, because you can see in that moment, he like, I did not expect you to still be able to do that.
Exactly.
So I mean, okay, so that I will give you him getting caught off guard. But I mean, like, outside, I think of because Akaza thought he fully killed him with that punch. So I'm just saying, like, I think if that didn't happen, I don't know if Rengoku would have got that shot, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess.
That's basically it. I'm not saying that Rengoku probably, like, he did his all. I mean, Rengoku, I feel like, even knew in that moment that he probably, like, that fight, he probably wasn't going to walk away from that, because his whole thing at the end was like, I was able to protect Inosuke, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu. I think he knew that was probably like curtain call for him. So
yeah. Well, while we're on the Akaza fight here, Tanjiro, what did you think about boy Tanjiro? I think one of my favorite moments in the movie, in like the entire, at least my theater, they all audibly like applauded during this moment, was at the very beginning of the fight, when Akaza's basically like about to go for a headshot on Tanjiro, and he does that little mirage move. Like, that was dope.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. No, I think Tanjiro did. I think this was in the manga and even in the movie, I think that they did a great job of showing how far Tanjiro has come from when he first like was a Demon Slayer to like now.
Yeah.
But also still showing the type of character Tanjiro is. Like for instance, Gyu was like, yes, he's about to get a sneak attack, and he was like, he yelled out Akaza's name, and it was just great because that's just the character. But like,
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job of showing the skill of, like, for instance, Tanjiro is potentially probably would be like if it wasn't of any age except now, Tanjiro probably would be at a Hashira's level. But they showed through Gyu's fight and like Shinobu's the type of like the level that their Hashiras are on.
Yeah.
Like
Because I mean,
Tanjiro's great, but yeah,
yeah,
he got still
even
work to go.
piggybacking off of that, like you said, you could see Tanjiro grew, but you could clearly see that Tanjiro wasn't able to really keep. He was able to keep up, but not to the extent that Gi was with Akaza,
Hmm.
right? It
Yeah, he
like
even. I mean, like
it
he
wasn't
even
until Tanjiro went into the transparent world that Akaza had to actually look at him and was like, "Oh, you're a
boom.
problem,"
Yeah,
right?
but I was also saying like Tanjiro even says it because he that there's a move that he's only able to dodge because Gyu redirected like something Akaza did. So
Yeah,
like Tanjiro even acknowledges like, damn, I thought I was better than this, but apparently obviously I still have a ways to go and stuff like that. So
yeah, which definitely makes me wonder, how the rest of this movies are gonna go. But we're probably gonna be seeing a lot more of the transparent world from Tanjiro because it seems really gonna be the only way he's gonna be able to keep up. Because I'm just imagining, I don't know who he has to fight left, but I know for sure he's gonna face Muzan, right? But
mhm.
before then, I don't know if he's gonna run into any of the upper moons or anything like that. So, definitely, Tanjiro's gonna have to keep stay on his p's and q's.
Yeah, we have a bit to wait for this all to wrap up, but next movie has one of the best fights, if not the
Oh,
best fight
I
in the series.
already know because Upper Moon One, he getting ready over there, boy. He getting, we saw him at the end when Kaza died. That boy was pissed. That man was pissed. He getting ready over there. I'm definitely waiting on that too. That should be
Hmm.
dope. 100%. That fight should be dope.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess as well. Before I do get off the Akaza versus Tanjiro fight here, my only gripe for me with the fight was technically the way how it ended, and it was really just because how it's weird because like in a sense Tanjiro won, but then like he didn't win because Akaza essentially was about to evolve, but then
Okay.
at the end he gives up. So it's just like it kind of leaves like a sour taste in my mouth. Is almost like we didn't have like a real
Mm.
conclusion to the fight, in my opinion. But that's just how I feel.
Interesting. 'Cause I can see that. I guess like the way I look at it, the way also like kind of Demon Slayer tells its stories is kind of it's a mixture of like action, but also like interpersonal struggle. And I
Yeah.
thought Akaza, for instance, and I think this is why for a lot of people he's their favorite Upper Moon. He really signifies that. Like he technically reached the pinnacle that I think any person in his situation would have been like, oh, like I'm, like demons are supposed to die when they get their hair chopped off. I've
Hmm.
surpassed that,
Yeah.
and I'm not even like number one ranked or whatever. You would like any other demon probably someone morally bankrupt would have been like, oh shit, y'all dead. Like fuck this. But like Akaza in the moments of like him basically crashing out, realize like was able to recall
Man,
himself.
literally too angry to die.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in the midst of that, he recalled who he was, that he
Yeah.
didn't necessarily even choose to become a demon. And in the end realized that
And I
this
guess
wasn't the life he wanted.
and this was always been one of my faults with the series in general. I don't like how the author try and makes me feel for these demons.
Really?
Even though like I kind of get it. Like, a lot of these demons aren't in these situations because of, their choice or their circumstances. I don't know. It just kind of throws me off. Like you spend the entire
For
series showing me how bad they are just to throw a ricochet at the end. Well, they're really a good guy, right? So it's just like
I
eh.
I
I
think
just
I see.
me personally, I just don't really care too much for that type of storytelling.
Okay. For me, I mean I like it. The issue I have with Demon Slayer does it, and I think I this might be yours as well, maybe. Um I think they cheapen it a bit with the flashbacks.
Maybe.
And the reason I say that is because I think there's a way they could, if Demon Slayer wasn't as fast paced as it was, I think it would. certain things they could do a bit better. So, for
You
instance,
know,
like the realizations of
that's
the
that
demons.
you hit it nail on the head. I think that's where it really there's no build up to like the reveal of their backstory. It's just the demons get their
The,
head cut off, and then we reveal their backstory, and now you all of a sudden it's like the author wants me to all of a sudden feel bad for them now, but it's like you spent this whole time making them
yeah,
out to be bad guys, and just all of a sudden during their times of their deaths, like, oh, here's all the emotional drama dump on you. There was actually good guys their entire time. Feel bad for these guys. Which in a
yeah.
way, like, yes, I understand. Like I said, a lot of these demons didn't choose to become demons, right? So it's no fault of them, but it's just I don't know. Like I said, it's just
I mean, so for me, like specifically, when demons, because yeah, basically same thing. I don't necessarily dislike how, like, for instance, the Infinity Castle ones are interesting because I'm like, based on the way you were telling the story, I understood why this was like it. But like, if Demon Slayer went a different route, almost like a, I don't want to say Attack on Titan, but if when they knew of Upper Moons, instead of like going immediately to fight, like if they did an investigation type of thing
yeah.
into like who they were as people, and they tied that into the fight, I think it
Oh,
would
that
be
kind of would have been dope.
would be
Yeah,
better.
it's
But
almost
I
like that
understand why they.
reconnaissance there.
Hmm.
Their enemy, and then like it wouldn't have been like there wouldn't have been any reason for them to do that, especially for the case that like for example, Akaza has been living for hundreds of years, right, killing
Hmm.
multiple Hashiras, right. Of course, there's got to be some notes we have on this guy somewhere in the Demon Slayer corpse, right?
Yeah, so I just, if they did it more like that, I think it would hit a bit harder when things like that happen because we would get to know the enemy slowly, as whereas like trauma beam, like
Yeah.
like
And
you know
I,
what I'm
I think
saying?
that's where what my issue was. It just the author's just basically just trying to dump all the trauma of that character on their death. And then,
Hmm.
like I said, there's really just no true build up to it. And it's like, well, I really don't feel bad for him because everything I've seen so far from this character has been nothing but cruelty and stuff like that. But and at the end, you're trying to redeem the character like this. It's just, and then also, in my opinion, not every villain just deserves a redemption arc, right?
Well,
But
I'll say this: the next the next couple of flashbacks you see, it's I wouldn't say they get redeemed. I'll just say that.
Oh man, oh man, but yeah, but like I said, that's been always one of my issues with Demon Slayer, just in general. Like I just didn't like the way the author just tried to trauma dump on us the demons after they die, and like it's
Yeah,
been like that since season one. So it's
that's
just
yeah, that was always a critique of mine when I was reading as well. Is like, I feel like if we approach this in a different way, like for instance, Full Metal Alchemist, I feel like when you get the backstory on like the sins,
hmm
I felt like they do that in a in a much better way because they slowly reveal those before their deaths, as
yeah.
opposed to like right before they die. So I, if they did it more like that, I think it would have hit harder and actually would feel better. Not like it was bad, but it's more of just like you said, like they it doesn't hit probably as much as it should have because you're doing this right before they meet their end. Like it does, none of this
Yeah,
matters now.
yeah, no, 100%. Well, moving on from there, the next major fight that we had in this movie, everybody, Doma versus Shinobu, and unfortunately, Shinobu's death was one thing I was spoiled on for this end of the series here. So I did know she was going to die during the movie. I just didn't know how. And I will say that the way Shinobu got taken out was so fucked up. Like, like that was why the way he disrespected
That was
Shinobu made no sense, and it really just goes to show you how much her poison was carrying her this entire time. Because not being able to behead a demon is definitely a debuff
she
for a
had
demon slayer.
she had the speed, she had the agility, she had the skill, she just didn't have the strength.
It is
In
crazy.
in a way, it's like I admire Shinobu because it's like, damn, you became a D1 athlete when you did not have like the when you became it's
She
like
Nate
you.
Robinson out there on the court, boy.
Yeah, she became like, but I'm saying like it's like she became a D1 athlete in basketball, but she was playing soccer. Like these skills should not be transferable, but you did it right. I feel like that's one, and two, also just as a manga perspective. If I'm not mistaken, Snow's death happened at the end of like either a volume. So I wasn't sure if she was actually dead. I was like, whoa, hold, what the fuck, and then had to wait. Lo
Yeah.
and behold, she actually was. But I'm like, damn. Like, but seeing it in theaters, I was like, Jesus. It's with the added sound effect. I was like, God damn. Like that just hits. It hits harder.
It's so crazy. Then just the fact that she got absorbed by this guy just is even worse. I'm like, not only did you disrespect this girl like this, you even gonna absorb her into your body. Like, who are you? Who do you think you are? At least give her the
Mhm.
decency of being able to be buried or something. Like, come on now, like, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, no, Doma, he gonna be a problem. But it looks like Shinobu's apprentice here slash sister. She's gonna show out in the next movie. So of course, hopefully, she's probably gonna have help by somebody that's gonna turn up around that corner eventually. But seems like she's gonna be popping off in this next movie. So I can't wait for that.
Mhm.
But Shinobu did do her big one before she did die. So I can only imagine that maybe her poison, her final hit, maybe did something to Domu, and we just don't know it just yet.
Doma. Yeah.
So definitely waiting to see on that if that was the case in this next movie or not. But once again, my girl Shinobu got done dirty, man. She got
This
done
is.
dirty.
But also, I feel like this is just so everyone's aware. Like to me, all the, like Shinobu's fight was a clear example of like upper moons are ridiculously strong,
Oh yeah, 100%.
especially these top three. You don't fight them alone. You got to jump them. You got to jump. The only reason
100%.
I was like technically, and the only reason Zenitsu beat his is because his was fresh. Like that was
Real fresh, yes.
so. That was just an unfortunate thing, but you got to jump them. You got to jump. You cannot. They cannot be respected with a
What
one-on-one.
I said about X, you gotta sneak them. There's no other choice. You gotta,
you
sneak 'em.
gotta jump them. They cannot. You cannot respect them with a one-on-one.
We ain't running no ones in here, especially now that they sneaked us like this and dumped us into the Infinity Castle. Ain't no ones being run this entire night. Everybody, all right?
Mhm.
We running in packs and we jumping. Oh man. Oh yeah, I can't wait for the next movie because like just like you mentioned, they say they're gonna try and one up like each movie, which sounds freaking ridiculous in itself. But like it should be a crazy time.
Yeah. No,
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So we touched upon a lot of stuff, about the movie, the Infinity Castle in general, just how the good looks. We touched upon the Kaza fight, Shinobu's fight, as well as Zenitsu's. I don't know if there's anything else you really want to touch upon here before we head on out of here.
Oh, did you not want to discuss your last question that you had
What
on the
was my
docket?
last question? I felt like we did it, but I'll just go through it again. So, and I guess this is a question for the audience as well. Would
Yeah,
you guys
yeah. Let's know.
rather have this final season be a TV seasonal format, or are you okay with them doing this trilogy movie format here? Me
Now that
personally,
it's out.
I would have preferred the seasonal format, but once again, Ufotable is doing a damn good job of making sure we go out with a bang with this movie format. But definitely, I would have preferred the season format one just because I think just the hype from week to week would have been wild, in the anime community, just and just the discussions and stuff going on from week to week
Mm.
would have been crazy. As well as, I don't think we would have necessarily had these pacing issues with these flashbacks that everybody was feeling in this first movie, right? I think it would have been a little bit easier, more digestible if we would have had a regular seasonal TV format.
Yeah, my opinion has a little bit shifted because of that too. Originally I was like, oh yeah, no, they need to be movies. I still technically feel that way because the end of this, as shown with the Kaza fight, these things are events. Honestly, like the
They
shit
are.
happening in this day. But I will say I with a flashback component in added in, maybe it would have been better seasonal because of that aspect alone, right? Like I could understand where people kind of like I said, like it's the fact that where they do it just kind of breaks up the stuff. Now, granted, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's going to be that bad moving forward. But still,
Hmm.
I think with that in mind, it might have been better if they
Yeah.
did seasonals instead of the movies. But who knows how long we would have been waiting for those? Maybe it's that long.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
And I believe we have one more question on the docket here for this movie, but I think we kind of touched upon that too. But I'm just gonna ask again anyway. So, were there any real disappointments for you from this movie besides I
Disappointments.
guess, the pacing of some of these flashbacks?
Dis-
Because
Not
I
really.
believe I talked about mine. My only disappointment with the movie for me was the the way the finale of the Kaza versus Tanjiro fight, well, and Giyu fight ended. For me personally, I just didn't feel like it was a true ending. And then once again with that whole the situation with the author, trying to trauma dump us at the end of a demon's death.
Mm-hmm.
That was really my only disappointment. But other than that, I mean, overall, the movie was great though.
Any disappointment? Honestly, not. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say I have any disappointments. Um, as a person that kind of knew what they were seeing what they're going into, I was more kind of uh taken away by what they added more so than like I think what didn't happen.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, I mean like that. But the thing you mentioned about flashbacks in general, what I said, I've had that opinion since I've read Demon Slayer.
I feel you.
I
Yeah.
think I think what Demon Slayer does, it does well, but like this is like the author. If anyone looks this up, like the author in early interviews would talk about like how they after this series ended, they knew that they could have probably done better, but there was like their first time making a story,
Yeah.
and I mean I don't even think they even said like they themselves said like they didn't expect it to get so popular, but like I think they said they would change a lot now after like they finish the series because like they know a lot more. So
Yeah. I feel you.
and I think that's evident. So
Yeah, 100%. Well, after sitting down and discussing this movie here, has your rating changed from a 9 to
no, I still
lower or
think
higher? Any by
no, I still
chance?
think I personally still think it's a 9. I think
Okay.
it's crazy that IGN gave it a 6 just for
That's
flashbacks.
I think that's freaking criminal. Like even if you didn't
Because to
like the
me, that's the
flashbacks,
only
you
that's what
can't go.
drops
How
it.
do you go below a minimum of a 7 on that? Like that's just I
Yeah,
don't know.
I took because for me that's what drops it to a 9 because I feel like everything else story wise, like if you didn't like Demon Slayer story, just continues that. Like I don't it really doesn't drop the ball anywhere else
Yeah,
except the flashback. So
yeah.
I mean,
Well, for me, once again, the reason it's a 9 for me and not a 10 out of 10 is just once again how the climax ends. And for me, for movies, I highly hold climaxes of a movies to a high standard in movies. So like, if your climax isn't good, I really don't. I just think that's an
but what if
L.
it? Hmm. But this is like a part 1
I
situation.
don't
So
care.
does that
I
come
don't
okay.
care.
That's
I
all I was
don't care.
that no, I mean that's fine. I just wanted to know if that came into, grading at all. Like
I
if
mean,
it's
after
a
all, maybe it might come into effect after the trilogy is fully said and done. But as of right now, this is a standalone, movie in a part, and the climax. Like I already said, my issue with the climax, but yeah, that's why it's not a 10 out of 10 for me.
okay, that's fair.
But all right, everybody, that was our review of the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 movie. Of course, when the other two parts drop years from now, we're going to be reviewing
Uh
those. But
2027 is supposed to be when part 2 comes out. So
oh my gosh. And see, that's another reason why I wish we just would did a season of format because we wouldn't have had to wait
I complete
4 years just to
hey,
get the final season out.
hey, technically this is in news, but as a Fate fan, I don't think that's true. Just saying. What's happening with Fate right now is I feel like an
Well,
example.
that's a different subject, but I feel you. 100% I feel you on that. Well, everybody, well, once again, but let us know down below in the comments what were you guys' thoughts and opinions on the Demon Slayer movie. We would love to know your thoughts on it. And with all that being said, everyone, we're gonna head on to our next section for today's episode. It is my favorite section of the episode. It is time for GOC News, your weekly source for your favorite anime news. Everybody, let's get into it. All right, everybody. So I'm gonna hand it out to McMill. He's gonna start us off with news this week. So you can go ahead.
Yep. So we're coming
And
into
my apologies. He's also going to be starting off with some major highlights from Anime NYC. Everybody.
yeah. So we got 2 events to kind of go through. So first off, Anime NYC. One of the big things that happened at Anime NYC, for Fooly Cooly fans, there was a fan project called Fooly Cooly Reanimated. They reanimated one of like the biggest episodes, episode 5, from it, and it was done with a pool. I think a group of over a couple hundred animators who
I think
worked
it was like
together.
300 plus.
Yeah. 300 plus animators. They also if I'm not mistaken, I guess the episode utilized. Yeah, so it used the dub from like the original episode and just reanimated some of the stuff around it. It took about 6 months to get all of that work done, and they showed it off at Anime NYC, like this big event for Fooly Cooly fans. The episode is on YouTube. You can look at it up at Fooly Cooly Reanimated.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Next up, Lucasfilm unveiled that they will be continuing Star Wars Visions with their Volume 3 anthology on Disney Plus come October 29th. So for those who are fans of for the Star Wars fans and anime fans alike, you have something to look forward to come later this month. And 10, last but not least, Netflix and Anime NYC unveiled their trailer for Record of Ragnarok Season 3, which is going to debut come this December. So look forward to that as well.
All right. Well, moving on from there, everybody, we're going to be going over some news that we got from Aniplex Online Fest 2025 this year. Starting this off with Fate Strange Fake anime has been delayed, everybody, to January 2026. I know McMillian here is very upset about this one.
We get an episode a year. That's what the thing I was saying with like Demon Slayer. I don't know if we would have if it would have been, something that they had done it, but
if they would have tried to, if Ufotable would have decided to go a TV season format for Demon Slayer, and they would decide to put out one episode a year, people would have rioted.
Maybe not, because I think the reason actually now that I think about it, I think the reason we're getting Strange Fake like this is because most of Ufotable is focused on the Demon Slayer movies. So I guess I'd still Fate fans would still be struggling, but maybe Demon Slayer fans would be eating good. I don't know.
Moving on from there, everybody, the Irregular at Magic High School, the Yotsuba Succession Arc anime film has been announced, everybody, for a 2026 debut as well. And unfortunately, and they can't keep getting away with this, Aniplex did not announce season 2 for 86. They got one more year to play in my face before I show up at Aniplex next year. I'm not even playing like that.
He buying a plane ticket, he going.
They finna upset me.
He gonna speak to the lady. He got props.
But all right, maybe you want to continue us on with some news here.
It's with a heavy heart that announced this. Another peak manga that I've told y'all about. It's anime's coming, but it's got delayed to 2026, which Atelier will not be premiering this year. It will be premiering at the beginning of next year. I thought it was gonna be a hot McMillan year. You know what I'm saying? We got Yakuda, then we was gonna get.
I was just about to say McMillan was talking so much about this show to me when this anime got announced, boy. So I know he upset.
I'm just because Yakuda, I talked that up, and it's great right now.
It is great, yes, it is.
And I was hoping that Witch Hat was gonna come up and be like, "Look, we raw too, but we gotta wait a year. Not a year, but we gotta wait even more time now." So. Of
course. And heading on from there, I already mentioned this, but I'm just gonna mention it again. The Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 movie, everybody, it broke the record for the first weekend sales in movies, passing 600 million USD, everybody, and beating the current record of Pokemon the first movie, which is kind of crazy that they held this record for so long.
Yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, I believe they also broke, I think, the record for highest grossing animated film as well. I think that but
did it hit that? It might have hit that. I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up. But it's
still in theaters right now.
So it might hit number one in in terms of sales overall. But and this, once again, that's another reason why Ufotable decided to do it a movie format, because they knew they had a cash cow on their hands here. So
but I forgot to add this to the docket, and I'm not trying to get political, but anime fans in general, our president, the U.S. president, is also lost his mind, obviously, but he, because of Demon Slayer's success, he says he's going to put tariffs on movies from out of the country. So make sure you call your local people to tell them no. just so y'all know, and that's a little political soapbox for the moment, because that's bullshit. But hey,
I feel you. Hey, listen, it is what it is at the end of the day.
In lighter news, in video gaming, people might have heard of an action anime MMORPG that was coming out called Blue Protocol that got axed. It's coming back, and it is going to be releasing on October 9th.
Yes.
It's under a new name, Blue Protocol Star Residence. There is a music video / launch trailer, not launch trailers, but like preview trailers on YouTube. Go check it out. Me and Ace were keeping our eye on this one, and
Yes.
it got a revival because
Yes.
we were kind of upset when it got knocked down.
Yes.
So
Me and the homies, we've been looking for a new MMO to play. We had our eyes on this one, and then it got, like he said, it got canned, but it got brought back. So maybe we can actually try it out here one day, and have some MMO nights with the fellas again. But speaking of video games, everybody, a new 7 Deadly Sins video game was announced. 7 Deadly Sins Origins was announced for a January 28th launch, everybody. So it's going to be coming out here early next year. It is a open world 7 Deadly Sins game, and the open world is said to be 30 kilometers. I'm not sure what that, in reference to how big that is, and in reference to other video game maps, but I'm I'm assuming it's pretty big.
You have to forgive us for American kilometers to miles. But the game is going to be launching on iOS, Android, PS5, PC, and PC.
Yes.
I know the game is also supposed to have like co-op sections as well. They talk about like raids that you could do with like friends playing other 7 Deadly characters, and it features its own original story. So
as well as the original story was also supervised by the mangaka as well. So they had help from the original creator as well. So it's not like they just went and just made something on their own.
Pull something out that. So yeah, for 7 Deadly fans, that might be something to look forward to.
Yes.
Next up, Rising a Shield Hero got announced for a 5th season, as well as a new global game project. So there's more anime games coming.
If they do it right, once again, there's so many games about anime MMOs. It really only takes one smart studio to say, "Hey, we gonna make a game based off this anime MMO," and they can make this pop.
But this isn't. This isn't really an MMO though. It's
well, no, I'm just saying in general. Well, yeah. It's not necessarily MMO, but I'm saying it has like MMO
elements
in it.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, you could argue. I could see. I was like, I could see where he got that. So I'm not tripping. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Next up, to round out the gaming news, My Hero Academia All's Justice got a new game trailer, and it's going to be coming out February 6th for the PlayStation, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Yes, the first open world My Hero game, everybody, because they put out a couple of fighting games and even I think a BR My Hero game as well. But this is their first open world one, everybody. So if you are a fan of the My Hero games, you can look forward to this one. And then last but not least, moving on from there, the light novel for Reincarnated as a Slime, everybody, is going to end on its 23rd volume on November the 29th. So the long time running series of Slime, which also is one of the series that made the isekai boom here, is coming to an end. It's coming to an end.
Yeah. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people kind of like, people who've read the series be, it's a bittersweet moment, but a lot of people are kind of excited because Slime has been adding original movies and stuff like that. So like the series is, even though, the original source material is about to end, it's still very much alive, people say.
100%.
So, yeah.
100%. Well, moving on from there, everybody, we're going to be talking about some new series that got announced. Starting us off with a anime version / film of the Sekiro video game has been announced, called Sekiro No Defeat. Sekiro, and it's going to be premiering on Crunchyroll sometime in 2026, everybody. There is a teaser trailer out. It looks pretty good. I played a little bit of Sekiro. I haven't beat it just quite yet, but it is a good video game, and I am hoping that the anime is going to be good as well.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Sekiro is getting an anime and Elden Ring is getting a movie. I hope both of them do well. So, but the teaser trailer does look nice, so I would go check it out if you were interested. Next up, Furin.
Elf Supremacy continues, everybody.
It's so funny. I was just about to say that. Is getting a prequel novel. It got announced. It does seem like it will. So I guess it's called Furin Beyond Journey's End Prelude. I don't technically know why they don't just call it Furin's Journey. I guess during the journey or something. But regardless, it's a prequel novel. It's been officially announced. So look forward to for Furin
the Journey.
If you're gonna call the series Beyond Journey's End, if you're gonna do a prequel, I just feel like
they could have did a little wordplay. I feel they could have been a little wordplay, but this is something that both me and McMillian was discussing as like a want when we was first reviewing season 1 of Fearing. Like we were just talking about how cool it would have been just to get the story of their hero group and how they went on to defeat the Demon King and everything. It looks like the author agreed with us as well. So definitely looking forward to that, and maybe hopefully one day even a animation off this prequel as well.
Yep.
You want to take this next one?
Yep. So the creator of Kaguya-sama and Oshinoko.
Well, I guess you just want to take these next few. My apologies.
Oh yeah. Aka Akasa is working on a new manga titled CRBR, or Crazy Raccoon Battle Royale. It's supposed to be based off this Japanese esports team called Crazy Raccoon. And the author apparently has experience with online competitions, as they love Apex Legends, and has taken breaks from writing to play the game in the past. So this seems like this is right up their alley, and could be a very interesting esports manga, potentially, depending on how they do it.
Sounds interesting.
Yep. And then after that, we have Gintama apparently is getting a new spin-off anime called Genpachi Sensei. It's got a new trailer, and it was announced that this spin-off is going to be airing on October 6th, so it's coming up.
Couple of days.
And then lastly, for a new series, Netflix revealed a 2026 debut and a teaser trailer for the next Baki anime called Baki Do. So for fans of Baki, the series is continuing, and it will be coming to you next year at some point.
There you go. All right. Well, next up, everybody, to round out news here, we're going to be talking about some upcoming releases as well as some new season announcements for a couple of animes as well. So start us off here, everybody. The second season for the animated version of Devil May Cry has been announced, everybody, and it's going to be releasing in 2026. They dropped a teaser visual, so for all you Devil May Cry fans out there, rejoice. Your season 2 is here. Moving over from there, the plot thickens, everybody, with Chain Soldier season 2 coming in January 2026, everybody. This one was brought to you via McMillian here.
It has good plot and good plot.
There's a trailer out for that, so you can check it out. And then all my Asta sons out there, rise up, because Wisteria Wand and Sword season 2 has also been announced for a April 2026 debut. This show, held me over while Black Clover was gone, and even though Black Clover is back now, whoop whoop whoop, everybody, but Wisteria Wand and Sword is still a very good show, and I'm glad I did discover it.
Well, to be clear, it's coming back. It's not back yet. I don't want people going to Crunchyroll and being like, where is the episode?
We here.
I just want to say, because I don't want this come out for people to come after you for saying it came back to early.
I thought season 2 was on Crunchyroll. No, season 2 ain't on Crunchyroll just yet, but it got announced, everybody, for Black Clover. We waiting for it to come back. All right,
and Wisteria is also coming back next year. So
there you go.
Asta and another kid with a giant sword swinging at magic people will be, they'll both be there and be great.
It'll be great if Black Clover comes back next year as well, because then we have both Wisteria and Black Clover in the same year. Wonderful.
That's my hope, because they announced it earlier this year, so hopefully it's coming back next year. Next up is a new series. I did check out the manga for, because a lot of people were talking about it. It's called this is a long title, My Gift Level 999,000 Unlimited Gacha Backstab in a Backwater Dungeon, I'm Out for Revenge television anime is going to premiere on October 3rd, the day after we record this. Just so you know, this is just as the title says, this is a revenge story, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty solid.
And also, apparently, it's not an isekai.
It's not an isekai. Thank you. It's not an isekai. It's a fantasy. It is a fantasy anime. With a title like that, though, you would have thought it was an isekai, but it's not. After that, we have Blue Lock got announced for a 3rd season, as well as a live action film adaptation. The live action film adaptation is coming summer of 2026. Now, say what you want about live action animes.
Lighting these, I don't care. Who keeps green lighting these live action animes? Who keeps doing?
I don't think this one. This ain't American, so I think it might be
good.
But
I don't care.
I mean, it's soccer, so I feel like you're going live action some sports anime ain't the worst thing in the world. But I feel you. After that, we have Dr. Stone's Science Future Anime's 3rd part airing in 2026. Now, this is the definitive final core of the series.
Yeah, it was part 2 of the final core.
Yes,
because the final core aired this season.
Yes.
Well, part 1 of the final core.
Well, isn't it final season or final
season, final core? Well, I guess not final core, final season, because next core is the final core. But yes, the final season, part 1 aired this season, and we're gonna get the last part of the final season in 2026. Unfortunately,
yes.
Unfortunately,
they're kind of pulling an Attack on Titan, not as bad, but hey. Next up, Clevitus, anime that me and Ace cannot wait to talk about.
Yes.
Got a second season, which is great. Dan obviously got its third season. JoJo fans, rejoice! Part 7 is happening. And it is coming in 2026. Now, granted, we already got an announcement, but we actually have footage, and it is confirmed for 2026. Thank God.
All right. As well as the Summer Hikaru Died also got announced for a season 2. Now, this is a show McMillion checked out, so I don't know if you want to speak on this one.
It is good. I would check it out if you are into psychological thriller.
There we go.
It was pretty good. It apparently is. I did not know this because I was not watching it on Netflix, but apparently it's only streaming on Netflix. So
there
just
you
be
go.
aware.
There you go. And then everybody get your tissues out because season 3 of To Your Eternity premieres on October the 4th, everybody.
Mm-hmm. And they're doing same day English dub, so you get to cry in 2 languages. Probably more. But like at least Japanese and English.
I feel you on that. And then to round out news, everybody, we're going to be talking about some movie news related here in the anime industry. Start us off with the JJK series, everybody. So they're going to be doing a compilation film of season 3. They're going to be showing off the ending of the what was this last arc we just did?
They're doing Hidden Inventory and no, not Hidden Inventory because I already did that.
What was that? The Shibuya incident. There we go.
Thank you. I was like, it was
there
big. Why am I forgetting?
So they're going to be doing those last 3 episodes of the Shibuya incident, and then they're going to be showing the first 2 episodes of the Cullen Gang arc, everybody. As well as they also unveiled a teaser trailer for the JJK season 3 Cullen Gang, and it's going to be premiering on January 2026, everybody. So definitely can't wait for that. JJK took the world by storm when it premiered. So definitely looking forward to season 3 here to continuing this action-packed series. And then our last piece of JJK news, everybody. JJK, the author of JJK is working on a new manga titled Mimo Juro. Is a JJK spin-off series. So definitely, if you're a fan of the JJK series and you're a manga reader, you can look forward to the spin-off series here.
Yeah,
keep all the spoilers to yourself. It is out, so definitely don't spoil anything.
I was say it did come out a while back. It is supposed to be a short-term series. Also, just to go back a bit, the compilation movie for season 2 that will lead into season 3 is coming out on December 5th of this year.
There we go. So. I almost forgot. I did forget the date for that. Thank you. Yes, the compilation film for JJK will be releasing on December the 5th, everybody. So definitely, head to your theaters, check it out. Moving on from there, speaking of, once again, movies here, the Chainsaw Man Reads are a compilation, not compilation film. Well, they're going to be doing a compilation film before the anime movie comes out, which I don't know why, but it's going to be premiering on Crunchyroll, and that's going to be premiering.
It's currently
out
streaming.
Now? Okay, yeah, it's currently streaming now. That's why we didn't have a date here. It's currently streaming now, everybody. So go and check that out and prepare in preparation for the Reads movie that's going to be premiering on October the 24th, everybody.
Mm-hmm. I expect to see all you there. Next up, Gintama. Besides also coming out with another season, it will spin off. It's getting a movie called the Yoshiwara Burning Arc. It's coming out next year as well. For fans of Perfect Blue, rejoice! It is getting a restoration film, and it's currently in theaters. So check your local listings. Your local theaters. You might be able to catch Perfect Blue, which is a really classic anime film in your theaters. And then last but not least, Kojima, the madman who created Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding, is coming out with an animation film for Death Stranding titled Mosquito. You can catch a teaser of the film on YouTube if you look up the title. It looks pretty nice, not gonna lie. The animation was kind of crisp.
There we go. All right, everybody. So that's all we have for news today. Let us know down below in the comments. What was your favorite piece of news? Did we enlighten you on a series that you guys didn't know what's happening or whatnot? Or did just let us know. Moving on from there, everybody, before we head into our spring anime roundup, we're going to be giving out this week's weekly recommendation. Everybody, take it away, McMillian.
Yep. So this week's weekly recommendation is an anime movie called Jose the Tiger and the Fish. This I felt appropriate to do movies since we were reviewing a movie. This is a pretty good slice of life movie about a university student named Suneo and a young girl named Jose who has rarely gone out of the house by herself due to her being unable to walk. The two meet in an unexpected way, and together, after forming a bond, a beautiful story unfolds. I took when this movie came out in theaters in America, I took a chance randomly just to go see it,
Okay.
and I was the visuals were great, and two, really beautiful story.
Nice.
The genres it covers is comedy, drama, and romance, and it's streaming on Crunchyroll, dubbed and subbed currently. So go ahead, check it out.
There we go. Once again, everybody, this week's weekly recommendation brought to you via McMillian, Jose the Tiger and the Fish. Thank you, there for McMillian. And with all that being said, everybody, we're going to head into our last topic for today, everybody. We're going to be doing our spring 2025 anime roundup, everybody. So essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're just going to be going through our spring 2025 watch list, talking about all the shows, that we had on our watch list here, everybody, and talk about how, how they went, whether they be good or
Mm-hmm.
bad. So we're going to start off with our joint watch list, starting this off with Fire Force Season 3. And at least for me, I will say I was a smidge disappointed for Fire Force Season 3. We know we waited for so long for Fire Force to come back. I just feel like this season wasn't as great as the other two seasons. I know we're kind of like setting up the finale here, but
Yeah.
a lot of stuff just really didn't happen. There wasn't really any truly standout moments, in my opinion, in this season.
Yeah,
But
everything. If
nonetheless, it is good that we did get it back, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything for this one kind of felt like build up, which I mean I know needs to happen for a story. It's just kind of like we waited years for this, so it just kind of felt like a slight letdown. I won't say like it was bad, but again, like it's just again, I think it's the waiting that kind of just put a lot of weight on this.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking forward to technically the final part.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, that was kind of it. It was just a little rough.
Yes, 100%. Next up, To Be Hero X, and I don't think we really have much to say about this. Once again, everybody, this was our featured reaction anime for the spring 2025 season. So all of season 1 is up now on our YouTube channel. If you want to go hear our thoughts on this season on the series, but it is a fantastic series and definitely our hidden gem for the spring
Yep.
2025 season. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much I can really say other than go check out our reacts if you really like if you want to get our nitty-gritty thoughts. But good time. Good time. Definitely go watch.
There we go. Moving on from there, everybody, we got Go Loser Ranger season 2. I guess I'm trying to get my thoughts together for this one. So, season 2, I guess I think at least what I appreciated for season 2 was the deeper world building that we're doing for the world of Go Loser Ranger now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we come to realize in the world of Go Loser Ranger that the boss monsters weren't all dead. There's still a couple of them, hanging out and about, hanging out around, and there's even some people in human society who wants to team up with the monsters and kind of take over society as well. It's all crazy, and then there's this whole mystery right now with the Red Ranger with him being killed, but then all of a sudden popping back
Pop it
up.
back.
Did this guy die? Did he reincarnate? Did he come back to life or something? I don't know. I'm still kind of confused about that. Like, is that the real Red Ranger? Is that a different person? Is this man immortal or something? I'm honestly confused about that. Not even
Mm-hmm.
gonna hold you. And then also it was cool to get the reveal of not the Yellow Keeper, but old girl. She's in the yellow group. I can't remember her name, but the crazy chick. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The blonde one.
Oh.
Finding out that she's the dragon priestess or whatever. I think that was right. So that was hella cool.
Yeah, but also the the clothes.
The, that was fucked up though. Yes.
That was wild. I mean, honestly, I can only echo a little bit of Ace's sentiments. I felt like Go Loser Ranger season 2 was a ride and it was fun. That's yeah, as much as I can really say. Like I'd say watch it. Especially if you like the Power Rangers type of stuff. It's a pretty fun. Yeah, it's a pretty fun show.
It's a pretty fun watch. I'm definitely glad McMillian told me to go ahead and check this one out.
Mhm. Next up, we had My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which I don't know. I like speaking for me. This was just a very fun Saturday afternoon morning watch. Like it felt like a return to like Saturday cartoons, kind of almost. Like it does what I think My Hero does best, like create a world of heroes and let you like people with superpowers and have it be fun and interesting. And also like
Yeah,
we got to see what it was like during the time prior to what we have in academia. So
yeah.
it was a fun watch. I'm definitely interested to see what happens later in the series because I feel like this was just an introductory point and that stuff is going to get serious like come next season.
Yeah.
Like it had its serious moments, but I feel like there's definitely something on the horizon for this show.
I'm definitely interested in how they're gonna handle this, especially considering that we're days away from the final season of My Hero, right? So it's just
Mhm.
it's weird to me that they decided to do a spinoff like at the end of a series. Like we haven't even ended the original series yet, and then they started to do a spinoff. So I thought that was a little weird, and because like how are you gonna make me care for the show? Once I've already experienced the
About
end
to
of the
say
regular
goodbye, I guess.
season. Like I know there's because once we because really there's no really true stakes in the show, right? Because we know none of that really
Well, I mean, I think
affects. I
it's
mean,
more
well, it might
about
have affects the story, but I guess like you say, it's really more about just building the world of My Hero and just telling and
Mhm.
showing other different stories. And I guess that's really what truly caught me off guard about this series. I didn't expect to enjoy this show as much as I did, but like McMillan said, every Saturday I was glued into the
it's
TV
a it was like a
though.
Saturday, like it wasn't anything like super special, but it was just like it brought back the feeling of watching Saturday
Yeah.
cartoons, right? Like in the
And I guess
morning.
that's the way I have to just look at it. Just keep enjoying it for what it was. Just good storytelling and just
I
fun,
but I
fun,
but
fun,
like you said,
fun episodes.
I think that's a good point. What you said, like this is interesting. It's a prequel series. The major events of My Hero are technically about to end. Like, what is this one about to show us? And I think that's what
Yeah.
we're kind of getting. We didn't really get the answer in this season, but I am interested to see what like the stakes are for this one because it's very interesting.
100%, 100%. And next up we got Windbreaker season 2, and I am proud to say that season 2 is definitely an improvement from season 1 in terms
They
of storytelling. The
they
fights are
put
still crisp and clean, but my
mhm.
main issue with season 1 was storytelling. It was definitely improved on in this season.
They put the pen to the paper. Okay, they heard me talking shit or heard people talking shit, and they finally they said, you know what, the fights look nice, but this pen about to go on this paper because now we have stakes, and that's all I wanted. That's
See,
all I
see, I 100% agree.
wanted.
Once again, I mentioned this before in like season 1, but definitely Windbreaker has some of the best hand to hand combat that I've seen in anime probably since like the Naruto days, right? Like just strictly hand to hand combat.
Yeah, the
Windbreaker does
choreography.
a great job with these
Yeah,
choreography and these fights.
yeah, the choreography is crazy. After that, we have from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. This one I enjoyed. I won't say it's like anything too special, but
No. Well, it's just
it
your typical isekai or
yeah,
or fantasy anime, generic fantasy anime. Because I don't think this
yeah.
one was an
It just
isekai, but
kind of
yeah.
it just focuses on an instead of like a teenage character, it focuses on an adult man who taught everybody of notes how to swing a blade basically, and his life after he becomes like one of his students recommends him to be like the capital country sword master.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty nice watch. I'm hoping that it does ramp up based on how the season one ended. And if it does come back, it's gonna hopefully like ramp up.
Yeah.
um
I'm with you
but
there. I
yeah,
think one of my only gripes with the season was there's not really any stakes as of yet. Like there's
Yeah,
little hints here and there to certain things and events that's gonna have to be going down, but definitely, for season 2, I need to see we up the stakes a little bit. We don't necessarily have to do world end and stuff in every show like that and nothing, but still, we give me a reason to care for these characters, right, and in their journey that
yeah.
they're going through.
Mhm. Yep.
But like you said, it is a nice little story. If you're into fantasy animes and things of that nature, this is a nice pickup here to go ahead and go and check out everybody.
Mhm.
But moving on from there, everybody, now we're going to be going through our individual watch list. So I'm gonna go through mine real quick because unfortunately I couldn't check out the rest of these shows on my individual watch list. So I'm probably gonna do them as bonus content for the summer 2025 roundup, but those three anime were the Sword of the Demon Hunter, the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadow, as well as Your Forma. So stay tuned for some extra content, bonus content, and I'll probably even throw them in like maybe another podcast episode. I'm not exactly sure when I'm gonna do it just yet, but I will be still reviewing and talk about these shows, but just at a later date. Um, is what my last pick I had on that watch list was, of course, One Piece. I'm a avid One Piece fan. That's my favorite anime. Egghead Part Two has came back and is they're popping off right now. I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil anybody, but I guess as well as before I leave on this section, as far as the One Piece reactions and things, I know I have been doing those recently. Really, it's really because I've been fighting um how I want to cover One Piece because I think the at least for me the reaction takes a part of my joy out of watching One Piece because I feel like I have to make it into a job and I don't necessarily want to do that. But I did enjoy discussing One Piece and talking about my theories and things of that nature. So instead of just maybe doing that, I probably would do like little One Piece drops, theory drops here every other week, and every other week, once I get presented, some new information in the series and things of that nature. So once again, I definitely don't want to stop covering One Piece, but I think I just have to reevaluate how I want to cover it.
Fair, fair. All right. For my personal watch list, I'll say I completed most of these, but some of these I didn't. Starting off, beginning after the end. Don't watch it. Don't read it. If you want to enjoy the series, read it because they butchered it. Again, I talked about this. I feel like in a past episode, the animation was so bad they started a petition to cancel the show and get it reanimated. I've never heard of that. Never heard of that.
Big Billion was so hyped for this one, y'all.
I want you to guys just think about this. All right, we got last year or the year or whatever time, Gotcha Yakuta got announced. This got announced, and Witch Hat Atelier got announced.
He was.
I did not think I could be stopped. Then they released beginning after the end, and I was like, oh fuck! I forget. Sometimes anime studios fail me, and that just happened to be one of the times. If you're going to, if you want to enjoy beginning after the end, you gotta read it. I do apologize.
And it's an unfortunate mistake because like people in the anime, like animators in the anime industry, right? They have to start off somewhere, but it just feels like it's a missed opportunity when like a big like light novel or a big manga gets adapted and they probably give it to like a lesser known animation studio, unfortunately, and they just don't do a great job with it. But once again, it is what it is. But like I'm being said, it is one of those unfortunate circumstances where the anime adaptation just is not. It's just not a great adaptation, unfortunately.
Yeah, go read it. I hope one day it gets like revived by a different studio because honestly, like it's such a good story so far. Man, it's crazy. Okay. Besides that, another thing I was on my list was Lazarus. I didn't unfortunately finish. Well, no, I did finish this one. Sorry, Lazarus was a decent watch. It's brought to you by the same person who made Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, and you can definitely tell. Unfortunately, I will say this: I don't think he executed the landing on this one just right. Like it feels the show for the most part, like it has interesting premise, interesting characters, but there's something missing that really kind of takes a hold of you like I feel like the other shows do. Like there's a cohesion I feel like in there that's kind of just not hidden, right?
Okay.
It's not bad by any means, but like if you compare this to his other work, this is weaker, unfortunately.
Okay.
So Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers. I didn't unfortunately finish this, but I did enjoy what I was watching so far. So if you're a Guilty Gear fan, I would check this out. And if you don't know much about Guilty Gear, I mean, you might still like this because it is good, but it will be a little bit confusing. I'm not gonna hold you. You're gonna want to look up a lore video probably. Rock is the Lady's Modesty. This surprised me. Okay, I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did. I thought it was going to be a silly, it is silly, anime about girls in a high society school learning how to play rock music. Not only is it that, the music is good. It's really like the music that they play, really good. The only bad thing I would say about this series is that it switches from the CGI because unfortunately parts of it are in CGI, and I think it's to kind of exaggerate the motions of like when they're playing. It's not bad, but it's like it kind of just takes you out of it. Like everything's 2D, and then randomly and it's weird because there's an episode specifically where like it's one of their first performances, the main characters, and they're performing with the orchestra. Orchestra people stay 2D. They are 3D. It is the most distracting thing in the episode. Again, still good, great story, good music. That was just weird. So I check it out. Just saying. And then Mobile Suit Gundam G-Quix, A Heavy Heart. I did not finish this, although the episodes I watched were good. This series heavily relies. Well, it's a what if season. It's technically taking the original Gundam and asking what would happen if Amuro, the original first main character ever of Gundam, didn't pilot the Gundam, and instead like the bad guys got it. While you could technically watch it without any of the background information, I felt like I was missing something by not watching it, so I decided to wait until I watched the original. Did I succeed in that? No. I will reattempt, and I will let you all know, but I haven't done that so far.
I'm done. That's hilarious.
It's the truth. I meant to sit down and watch the original series, either in movie, because they have like these compilation movies which are supposed to be a better viewing experience, but I don't know, I got distracted. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it did happen sometimes. Well, everybody, we know that was our spring anime 2025 roundup. The spring season, it had a couple of bangers in there, here and there, but definitely, there's a couple of, shows that, of course, wasn't on our spring watch list that may have been on yours. What were those shows? Were they good?
Mhm.
Were they bad? Are they worth our time? Is there anything in the spring season that we might have missed that we need to go back to and check out? Please let us know. And of course, be looking forward to our summer 2025 roundup coming here, definitely in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, everybody. Well, we are now at the end of our episode on McMillian. I don't know if there's anything you just want to talk about in general before we round it on.
No, I think we talked the ear off. I think we talked the ear off at this point. But yeah, it felt good to get this regular episode out. Sorry it took a while. Life.
Yes.
Life happens.
A lot of life is happening right now, everybody. Mm-hmm. But good life stuff though.
Yeah.
A lot of life is definitely happening. But nonetheless, everybody, this has been the Gurren Otaku Council podcast, episode 106. I'm gonna hand it off to McMillian, who's gonna go ahead and take us on out of here.
All right, guys, as always, appreciate you for watching this last listen. If you want to stay up to date on all things about the council, please consider following us on our social media. That is at Gurren Otakus on Twitter and at Gurren Otaku Council everywhere else. If you are an audio-only listener, consider, sharing the podcast episode, following our channel or wherever you are, listening on, and going and showing some love in the reviews. We really appreciate it. For those watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode, the Demon Slayer movie, what to check out from spring, and any news tidbits that you liked. We'd love to hear about it. But with all that being said, guys, appreciate it. You all have a wonderful fall season as we round out summer here. And this is Gurren Otaku Council saying meeting adjourned. Peace out.